We all think we would survive a serious emergency because we have absorbed enough advice from movies and the internet to feel prepared. Spoiler alert, that advice has been quietly setting you up to fail. If your car sinks, if a tornado hits while you're on a highway, if an animal charges toward you, the response forming in your head is likely the wrong one. 40 survival beliefs. Keep score as we go. Drop your total in the comments. Let us find out. Number 1. If your car goes into water, wait for the pressure to equalize before opening the door. This sounds like brilliant patience until you realize you are essentially scheduling your own exit while the clock runs out. Waiting for the car to fill completely means running out of breathable air long before that door budges. The water pressure against the outside makes pushing it open feel like trying to move a wall. The moment the car hits water, unbuckle immediately, break a side window with anything hard, and climb out before the electrics fail and seal you inside like a tin can. Number 2. Crystal clear water is always safe to drink. You see a beautiful bubbling stream, sunlight dancing off the surface, water so clear you can see every pebble on the bottom. Your instinct says cup your hands and drink like a movie hero who just found paradise. Do not do this. A deer could have spent considerable time in that water 50 yards upstream, and what it left behind is invisible, odorless, and extremely motivated to ruin your digestive system completely. Clear water means nothing. Gorgeous water means nothing. So when you treat every source like it is trying to cause you problems, because in the wild it almost certainly is. Number 3. Putting butter or oil on a burn soothes and heals it faster. Every kitchen in the world has produced this advice at least once, and every kitchen in the world has been wrong about it. Butter and oil trap heat inside damaged skin instead of allowing it to escape, which means you are actively continuing the process you are trying to stop. You are essentially marinating yourself for no beneficial reason whatsoever. Run cool, clean water over the affected area for at least 10 minutes to draw the heat out properly. Keep the butter entirely reserved for your toast and away from your medical emergencies. Number 4, falling through ice means climbing straight up out of the hole immediately. Your freezing brain will scream at you to grab that edge and haul yourself out like you are exiting a swimming pool. Every time you try, the ice snaps off and drops you back under while your arms turn to noodles. Stop fighting gravity and brittle physics. Kick your legs flat behind you, lay your arms across the ice surface instead of gripping the edge, and slide yourself forward like the world's least graceful seal. Get horizontal first. Standing comes later, preferably somewhere warm and dry. Number 5. Urinating on a jellyfish sting relieves the pain. Somewhere between a bad sitcom and a beach dare, this myth convinced millions of people to make a painful situation significantly worse while also permanently affecting several friendships. The stinging cells still embedded in your skin respond to fluid changes by firing again and injecting more venom directly into you. You are not helping. You are reloading the weapon. Rinse the area with seawater, use a flat tool to remove visible tentacles, and apply heat. Put the other thing away. It was never medicine and it never will be. Number 6, you lose most of your body heat through the top of your head. This belief came from a military study where volunteers wore full insulated suits with only their heads left uncovered. Naturally, the head was where all the heat escaped because it was the only part exposed. The conclusion that the head loses heat disproportionately completely misread the experiment. You lose heat equally from any exposed skin surface. If your head is covered but your hands are bare, the heat leaves through your hands. Cover everything starting with your core. Your head is not special. It is just usually the part nobody bothers to cover. Number 7, running is the right response when a large animal charges toward you. Your legs will absolutely betray you here because every instinct you have will be screaming run, while every fact available says that is the worst possible idea. Bears reach 35 miles per hour. Moose weigh up to 700 kilograms. The moment you turn your back, you stop being a confusing upright creature and become something far simpler to deal with, which is prey. Stand your ground, make yourself as large and loud as possible, and back away slowly. You are not running a race you can win. Number 8, sealing a wound shut with fire stops the bleeding effectively. And action movies have made this look heroic for decades, and real life makes it look like a catastrophic series of mistakes. Applying heat to a wound seals every piece of dirt and bacteria already inside it into a perfect warm environment where infection can develop completely undisturbed. Then the searing pain drops your blood pressure so sharply you may lose consciousness entirely. You have upgraded a bleeding wound into a burned wound full of problems with your body now in shock. Flush it with clean water, pack it, apply pressure, and move. Number 9. Coconut water from any coconut you find will keep you hydrated. Picture yourself stranded on a beach, exhausted and thirsty, cracking open a brown coconut like you just won the survival lottery, and now picture what happens 30 minutes later when you realize that mature coconut milk is one of nature's most effective natural laxatives, and your empty, dehydrated stomach is not prepared for that information at all. You will end up significantly worse off than before you drank anything. The coconut you actually want is young and green on the outside. Brown means beautiful packaging around a terrible surprise. Number 10. The bigger and more comfortable your survival shelter is, the better. You have just built yourself the most spacious, comfortable shelter in the forest, and you are going to feel that decision deeply when the temperature drops tonight. Your body is the only heat source available, and it needs to warm every bit of air trapped in that structure. Build it like a cathedral, and your body heat rises, disperses, and disappears before it does you any good. A proper survival shelter should be barely large enough to fit your body inside, packed tightly with insulating material on every surface. Be a sensible creature in a snug, warm hole, rather than a cold, dignified one in a large, empty space. Number 11. Sheltering under a highway overpass protects you during a tornado. It looks like the most solid, sensible structure available, and it is actually one of the most concerning places you could choose. The gap underneath an overpass acts like a nozzle on a garden hose, compressing the wind and accelerating debris directly through the space where you are standing. Emergency agencies have specifically flagged this as a practice that has caused preventable harm. Leave the vehicle immediately, find the lowest ditch or depression available, unlie completely flat, and cover your head and neck with both arms. The ground is your shelter. The overpass is a funnel. Number 12. Running in a zigzag to escape a crocodile. Someone somewhere decided that zigzagging was clever enough to teach to other people, and here we are. Crocodiles reach 17 kilometers per hour in short bursts on land, and they are considerably less impressed by your geometric footwork than you are. By changing direction repeatedly, you are covering more ground to reach the same destination, while the animal simply adjusts and closes the gap. Run in a straight line at full speed toward anything vertical you can climb. Get off the ground immediately. Save the dance moves for literally any other occasion. Number 13. Cold water is fine to swim across if you are a strong swimmer. Your fitness level, your technique, your years of swimming experience, none of it matters the moment cold water below 15 degrees Celsius hits your skin and triggers an involuntary gasp reflex that your nervous system controls entirely without consulting you. If your head is under when that gas fires, you inhale water. If you surface, muscle incapacitation follows within minutes, regardless of how strong you are. This has happened to competitive swimmers and triathletes who had no reason to expect it. The river is an obstacle. Treat it like one and find another way across. Number 14. You can outrun a forest fire. People consistently underestimate fire because it looks slow from a distance, and then suddenly it is not slow at all. A wind-driven fire moving uphill can outpace the fastest runners on Earth, while simultaneously launching burning material over a mile ahead of the main front to start entirely new fires in front of you. You can be running away from one fire and directly into another one that started while you were running. Heat from a fire also causes serious harm before the flames even arrive. If you see smoke anywhere near you, leave immediately via the lowest ground available. Number 15. Lighting a match near an attached tick forces it to back out safely. The tick does not see the flame and politely reverse out of your skin like a sensible guest leaving a party. What actually happens is significantly more unpleasant. The heat startles it into releasing the contents of its stomach directly into your body, which is precisely the opposite of what you wanted. You have just turned a minor inconvenience into a concentrated problem. Use fine-pointed tweezers, Grip as close to the skin as possible, pull straight up with slow, steady pressure, and clean the area properly. No fire, no folklore, no excuses. Number 16. A campfire protects you from wild animals throughout the night. Fire feels like a force field, and nature would like you to know that it is not even close. Bears in areas with regular human visitors have essentially zero fear of campfires and approach them routinely to investigate food smells. Smaller animals treat the edge of your firelight as a convenient shopping area for anything in your pack. The fire also makes the darkness beyond it harder to see into than if you had no fire at all, which means whatever is approaching has better visibility than you do. Store food properly away from your sleeping area. The fire is comfort, not security. Number 17. Dangerous drops in body temperature only happen in freezing conditions. The temperature reading that will surprise most people is not 0 degrees. It is between 10 and 15 degrees Celsius, which is 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a perfectly normal cool afternoon that does not feel remotely concerning until it is. Wet clothing loses 90% of its insulating value. Wind strips warmth from skin faster than the body replaces it. People have been found in serious condition on trails they described as a normal hike when they set out. If you are wet and wind is blowing, the temperature on the gauge is almost irrelevant. Number 18. Tying a rope around your waist helps your group cross a dangerous river safely. The logic is genuinely reasonable until the river makes its counter-argument, which it does immediately and without mercy. Moving water hits a tethered person and drives them straight below the surface. The rope anchors them at the center of the body in a position that makes surfacing to breathe extremely difficult. The tool meant to save them becomes the thing working against them. If you must cross moving water as a group, use a sturdy pole for balance, move one person at a time, and keep everyone unattached to anything fixed. The river does not negotiate. Number 19. Pre-made survival kits sold online will protect your life. $20, 72 pieces, and the complete psychological satisfaction of feeling prepared without doing any of the actual work that preparation requires. The compass is decorative. The matches dissolve if they sense humidity from across the room. The knife bends if you look at it with any degree of seriousness. But the broken equipment is not the real problem. The real problem is that owning the tin makes you feel ready, which removes every motivation to develop genuine skills. If you have never opened it and tested every item before you needed it, it is not a survival kit. It is a very small false promise in a tin. Number 20. Do not touch someone who has just been struck by lightning. The human body holds 0 electrical charge after a lightning strike. The entire discharge exits in a fraction of a second and nothing stays behind. Well, you can touch the person completely safely, and more importantly, you absolutely should, because hesitating costs the one thing they do not have, which is time. Lightning disrupts the heart's rhythm, and immediate assistance is the single most important factor in their recovery. Lightning strike victims are actually among the most recoverable critical patients in emergency medicine when help begins without delay. Do not stand there. Move immediately. Number 21. Swimming parallel to shore always solves a rip current. Mostly correct, but with one adjustment that could make all the difference in the specific situation where mostly correct is not enough. Some rip currents flow diagonally rather than straight out, meaning parallel swimming keeps you fighting the current while exhausting yourself methodically. The more complete strategy is to aim toward where the waves are actively breaking, because rip currents run through the calm channels between breaking waves. Swim into the white water, and the wave energy does the work of pushing you back. If you are too tired to swim anywhere, float. Panic ends more people than the current does. Number 22. Standing in a doorway is the safest place during an earthquake. This advice made complete sense in the 1800s when buildings were constructed from adobe mud bricks and the wooden doorframe was genuinely the only reinforced structure in the entire house. Modern buildings are not made from mud. A doorframe today is decorative wood attached to standard drywall and offers exactly 0 additional protection compared to the wall beside it. Meanwhile, the door itself will swing violently and repeatedly into whatever is standing in its path. Drop to the floor, get under a sturdy table, and protect your head. The doorway is just a place to get struck by a swinging door. Number 23, you must wait 24 hours before reporting someone missing. Television invented this rule for dramatic pacing purposes, and people have been paying for that creative decision ever since. One night of exposure is enough time for a serious situation to become irreversible. One night of walking in the wrong direction can move a person 15 miles outside the area being searched. Search and rescue teams have said this clearly and repeatedly. They would rather respond to 100 false alarms where everyone is fine than receive one call 2 days too late. If someone is overdue from any outdoor activity, the correct time to call is immediately, not soon, now. Number 24, your smartphone GPS will navigate you home safely. 3 things fail simultaneously, and none of them care about your data plan. No cell signal means the map never loads, and you are staring at a blue dot floating on a gray nothing that tells you precisely 0 about what is between you and safety. Cold weather reduces battery capacity at a rate that will genuinely surprise you. And even a working map requires topographic understanding that most people have never once practiced in their lives. The majority of modern wilderness rescues involve someone who trusted a phone into terrain that phone had no business leading them into. Carry a paper map. Magnetic north never needs charging. Number 25. You will clearly feel the warning signs of dangerous body temperature loss. The most concerning feature of losing dangerous amounts of body heat is that it quietly disables the part of your brain responsible for noticing that it is happening. You become clumsy and confused while feeling completely fine about both. Your judgment deteriorates before your self-awareness catches up. People in this state make decisions that look obviously wrong to everyone watching and feel entirely sensible to the person making them. When shivering stops, many people feel relieved. That relief is the most concerning moment of all because it means the body has simply stopped fighting back. Number 26. Getting to high ground is enough to protect you from a flash flood. The detail that makes flash floods uniquely concerning is that the storm causing them can be completely invisible to you. Sitting 20 miles upstream while you are standing under a clear blue sky in a dry canyon that is about to become something else entirely. The warning is a distant roaring sound from upstream or water rising in a channel with no local rain to explain it. Height above the water is not the goal. Getting entirely out of the drainage system is the goal. Leave the canyon. Leave the wash. Leave immediately and do not return until you know the weather upstream has fully cleared. Number 27. You can navigate using the direction water drains in a sink or puddle. The rotational effect of the Earth does exist, and it influences weather systems that span hundreds of kilometers. A sink, a puddle, or a bowl of water is millions of times too small for that force to have any measurable effect on drain direction whatsoever. What actually determines which way the water rotates in a small container is the shape of the vessel and any movement introduced when it was filled. You can make water rotate either direction in either hemisphere with a slight hand movement during filling. This method will point you somewhere random with complete false confidence. Use a compass instead. Number 28. Quicksand will pull you under completely if you fall into it. Every adventure movie ever made has convinced us that quicksand is basically the earth trying to consume you completely. The dramatic reality is that quicksand is denser than the human body, meaning you physically cannot sink past your waist no matter how hard you try. And the real concern is panicking and thrashing, which packs the mixture tighter around your legs like wet concrete setting up around you. Lean back slowly, spread your arms wide, and wiggle free like a very calm, very muddy person who genuinely has nowhere better to be right now. Number 29. Keeping moving when lost helps you stay warm and cover useful ground. Movement feels productive, and productive feels like surviving, which is exactly why this mistake is so common and so costly. Every step away from your last known position is a step further outside the area being searched, because every search begins from the last confirmed location and works outward from there. Most wilderness rescues happen within 48 hours. Walking 15 miles in a random direction puts you well outside the initial search radius. Stop moving. Find an open, visible area. Signal actively. The goal is not to find your way out. The goal is to be found where people are looking. Number 30. Drinking radiator fluid from your vehicle is a last resort hydration option. The fact that antifreeze has a faintly sweet taste is one of the more misleading design features of any vehicle ever manufactured. It causes serious harm to the body beginning shortly after consumption and does so in ways that progress rapidly. Here is the better news. Your vehicle is enormous, reflective, and visible from miles away by anyone looking from above or along a road. It is the single best signaling asset you have in a breakdown situation. Stay with it, make yourself visible, signal with anything reflective, and under no circumstances drink anything from under the hood. Number 31. A large tactical knife is your most important survival tool. The survival knife fantasy has sold an enormous quantity of impressive-looking blades to people who will never use them correctly in a normal setting, let alone a difficult one. Real knife work in a survival context is entirely about precision, carving thin kindling, building snare triggers with accuracy, cleaning small fish without destroying them. A 12-inch serrated blade is genuinely useless for all of those tasks and exhausting to carry besides. Professionals carry a small fixed blade and a folding saw. The saw cuts branches. The knife does everything requiring a brain. Your enormous blade is mostly there to look serious. Number 32. Wild berries that look like familiar safe berries are safe to eat. Nature spent millions of years perfecting the art of looking delicious while being the opposite of delicious, and it is remarkably good at this. The resemblance between concerning and safe berries is not coincidence. It is a strategy designed for birds whose digestive systems handle certain compounds completely differently than yours do. Some problematic berries look like cherries, others look like currants, several look like blueberries having a wonderful day. Color, size, and cluster shape are not identification tools. They are decoration. Without confirmed regional species knowledge, you are not foraging. You are guessing with your health as the stake. Number 33. Only use a signal mirror when you can see an aircraft overhead. A signal mirror reflecting direct sunlight is visible from up to 10 miles away, which means it can reach aircraft you cannot see, hear, or know exist anywhere near you. Waiting to spot a plane before signaling means you are only active during the tiny fraction of time when aircraft are already within your visual range. Search planes fly grid patterns. They may be behind terrain that blocks sound while still being close enough to catch a flash. Signal continuously whenever sunlight is available. Point toward any engine sound, any road, any elevated position where eyes might be scanning. Do not wait for confirmation to start. Number 34. You can suck the venom out of a bee or wasp sting with your mouth. The instinct to put your mouth on a sting site and draw out the venom feels logical and immediate, and it accomplishes absolutely nothing useful whatsoever. When the venom travels into tissue almost instantly, and there is nothing sitting near the surface available to be removed by suction. What your mouth does contribute to the situation is a generous introduction of bacteria directly into an already irritated skin surface. Remove a visible stinger by scraping sideways with a flat edge, rather than squeezing it. Apply a cold compress to reduce swelling. Keep your mouth reserved for talking and eating only. Number 35. Hippos are slow, peaceful, and too large to be a real threat. Popular culture has spent decades presenting hippos as oversized, lazy river decorations that do nothing but yawn dramatically and float in the sun. The reality is that a fully grown hippo is one of the most territorially aggressive animals on the continent. It can cover ground faster than most people can run over short distances and is responsible for more serious human encounters than almost any other large African animal. They are not slow, they are not peaceful when approached, and they are absolutely not impressed by your camera. If a hippo is between you and water, give it the widest possible distance and move away calmly. Number 36. Small amounts of seawater can supplement fresh water when you are dehydrated. The reasoning sounds almost sensible until you understand what salt does to a body that is already working hard to maintain fluid balance. Even small amounts of seawater force the body to produce more fluid output than the volume consumed in order to process the salt load, creating a net fluid loss with every sip. People stranded at sea who supplemented with seawater declined faster than those who consumed nothing at all while waiting for rain or rescue. There is no safe amount of seawater to drink. Even a little accelerates the exact problem you are trying to solve. Number 37. You can tell a snake is dangerous by the shape of its head. The triangle-shaped head equals dangerous and rounded head equals safe rule has been repeated so confidently for so long that most people treat it as established biology. It is not. While some venomous species do have broader triangular heads, numerous highly venomous snakes have narrow rounded heads that would pass the safe test comfortably. Meanwhile, many completely harmless species flatten and widen their heads when feeling threatened to appear more intimidating. Head shape tells you almost nothing reliable about what a snake is capable of. Treat every snake you cannot positively identify as one to leave completely and immediately alone. Number 38. Running uphill is the best way to escape a dangerous animal chasing you. The logic feels sound because height seems like an advantage and high ground feels like safety. The problem is that running uphill costs you energy at a rate that flat ground does not, meaning your speed drops significantly and exhaustion arrives much faster than expected. Most large animals built for pursuit lose very little speed on inclines because their body mechanics handle elevation changes far more efficiently than a two-legged person gasping for breath. Run toward any barrier the animal cannot cross, a vehicle, a fence, any structure with a closable door. A height alone is never a strategy. Number 39. You can tell whether food is safe by smelling it carefully. The smell test is a useful tool for detecting one specific category of food concern and completely useless against several others that are considerably more serious. Some of the most concerning foodborne issues are entirely odorless, colorless, and tasteless, while being present in concentrations sufficient to cause serious illness. Your nose can tell you that something has gone obviously bad in a particular way. It cannot tell you anything about the concerns that produce no warning signal whatsoever. In a survival scenario, serious digestive illness causes rapid fluid loss that eliminates your ability to perform every other task within hours. When uncertain, hungry is the better option. Number 40. When your eyes fully adjust to darkness within a minute or two. 2 minutes of darkness gives you roughly 30% of your potential night vision and the unearned confidence of someone who has all of it. True dark adaptation takes 20 to 40 minutes of complete uninterrupted darkness and resets instantly the moment any bright light source appears, including the phone you just checked to see what time it is. At 30% adaptation, you can see large shapes and miss everything else, which in uneven forest terrain is the category that contains rocks, roots, drops, and every other thing waiting to remove your mobility. Use your torch properly for navigation. Do not mistake partial adjustment for the real thing. 40 points. 40 things that felt completely logical until right now. The most dangerous kind of wrong information is the kind that feels correct. It does not make you cautious. It makes you act. And in a real situation, acting on the wrong information at the wrong moment is the difference between a story you tell later and one that gets told about you. Now here is your comment challenge. Which one of these 40 points did you believe the most confidently before today? Not just a little bit, the one you would have bet everything on being right. Drop it in the comments below. The answer that gets the most votes wins the unofficial title of Most Confidently Wrong. Let us see what everyone was absolutely certain about. This has been Lying Legends. I'll see you in the next video.